Office space management and office space planning is an Interact HRMS module that allows you to track your inventory of office space, to match it against your employee population, and to be able to make sure that all employees have been assigned the correct office space and type, and that in case you're expanding or downsizing, you know exactly what you're going to be needing in terms of office space and you're ready for that. Office space management is integrated with onboarding, obviously, because it's going to be required for you to assign an office space, whatever the size of that space will be when you are bringing a new person on board, and the same thing in reverse when the person is leaving. So that's some of the basic setup. So what else do we have? We have different office space types that we can define. Here's an example. We have shared offices, open offices, executive suites, and so on. We define all of this in the system. And you notice that we can color code that. We can have an icon to depict it also. Then we have the different office space locations. So you may have multiple office buildings. Here's a list of my office locations, each one with a code, with a name, with an address, and so on. If I drill down and look at the detail, I can see the address information, the type, whether or not this is owned or leased, and who's the custodian, main phone number. You can even have a location map included. So then once we have defined our types and our locations, we will look at our office space inventory. This really will give us the detail. So for example, there's a meeting room in one of our buildings. This is the New York head office building. So this really shows you the amount of detail that we can define for such a particular office space. So you notice that everything is really generic and designed for you to define what you need to know so that you can manage this properly. You see, we track AC information, the locks that you have on these rooms, whether it can be accessed easily by disabled employees, what kind of furnishing is available, communication information, any restrictions as to whether this is restricted to particular departments or job groups or employee groups or jobs. And then you can allocate that, obviously, to a particular unit. You can track the cost of the office space, and you can have a picture of it even, so that you have clear view of what is available. So if you wanted to see a picture of it, we could view that right here just by clicking here, and the system will open a picture for us. So everything is tracked for us, and now that we have the inventory in place and we have all the locations, etc., what we can do now is have employees request the space. In my case, Stacy, and Stacy can put in an office space request. Now you can actually use this for booking meeting rooms and other things too. Alternatively, maybe she needs a temporary office. So let's say she's going to be in the New York head office for a week and she needs to have a place to work from. So we go with the head office. Specifically, she just needs a cubicle really. And that is all she needs to do to request this. Many offices will work with flexible office space and floaters and so on, so there needs to be an easy way to handle this kind of information. Now, and by doing it through the HR system, there's no chance of having any disconnect. Again, the workflow could send this to different people who are specifically responsible for managing this. I'm going to log in real quick here and show you that this particular office space request that came in from Stacy is going to be approved, and we will assign her a space of cubicle 1 specifically. It will be assigned as of the date that she requested, which will be the 15th of May. Keep in mind that we have different date formats depending on the country in which you're really using this system. because it's a global application. So this is going to be a temporary assignment, and typically we would also include the date that you need to vacate the space again, obviously. We're going to have this approved right now and proceed. So this is all it takes really to approve a request and assign the office space to that particular person. I have skipped a few steps and I'm not getting into too much detail, but it should be clear what the point is here. You have an unlimited amount of office space that you can define. You define your inventory with types, locations, and individual spaces, and then employees will request it. You will take it through a workflow and assign it to the employees. So you can allocate a specific office space to a particular department. Let's say we're going to give the accounts payable department 2 cabins and a corner office and a number of cubicles also. So all of this will be available, and like this you can go ahead and plan all your office space by department or by individual, depending on how you want to work in the system. So we can manage different manners. So the system is able to allocate or assign office space and then restrict it and make sure that there's no double booking. Whether it's a small cubicle or whether it's a boardroom, all of it will be in the inventory and properly assigned. And the most important thing is that that information will then be available to the various departments through their self-service, so that they can view all of this online whenever they need to. So it can either be requested for an employee or for a unit, and the same logic will apply after that. So it's a very convenient way to manage office space, all in the same system, keeping in mind all the other information that's important from an HR perspective, so that we know exactly that we have the right space available when employees are hired and onboarded, as well as when they're leaving the organization, that that inventory is taken back and it's clear to those people that are planning office space that they know exactly what will be available when.